What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Down the Fairway. In today's episode of Down the Fairway, I'm going to be giving you a tip on how to keep consistent discs in your bag. I have a few tournaments coming up, and they all are big bomber courses. We just came out of the woods for the last couple months. Now we're going back into the open field, and I need to make sure that I have backups of my best, most stable, consistent drivers. That for me right now is the Paige Pierce 5-time nuke right here. I got 2 of them. These are my go-tos. This is my main guy, and this is my backup. Now, what happens if I lose both of those in the tournament? I'm absolutely then done though. So today I've tracked down a bunch of the same run, and I'm going to be testing them here in the field to make sure that they're adequate in being able to back up these 2 discs. Now, why is this important? Well, the number one thing is I've seen this before on courses to where somebody has their best number 1 driver and a water hole, a little left to right crosswind, and they're scared to throw their favorite disc over the water. Now, this is so important because that shot could win you the tournament later on in the tournament, or you could be in a situation where you actually have to throw that shot. And worrying about losing your disc and not having an adequate backup is so important. So today I've gathered 14 of the same discs. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be testing them out and seeing how consistent they are in their flights compared to my 2 main ones. Now, I know a lot of you are saying that, okay, yeah, sure, but it's really hard to find the same disc, and it is. In today's manufacturing, it's super hard to find a consistent run. Not because they don't make consistent discs, but because they sell out so fast. You could find a run that you really like, and by the time you want another one, they've already been sold across the world, and you can't track that same run down. Because the industry is growing so fast, it's really tough to find that disc that you like and multiples of them. So what I do is when I do find the one that I like, I make sure that I buy 12 or 15 of them or have them send me that many. All right, let's see how my 2 fly compared to these new ones. If I walk up to those discs, they're going to be at the same distance. The second one I turned over and was a little bit lower, so it's going to be a bit farther and probably about 12 feet to the right of the other one. Now let's see what these other ones are going to be doing as I try to throw them on that consistent line. Small turnover, I'd say about 70 to 80% power. On average, I was throwing those about 420, 430 feet. For the most part, those all had a pretty consistent flight. The one thing that I was looking at is I have a left to right crosswind. Once I got it over enough, a lot of them didn't want to have that fight back. So I'm easily going to be able to eliminate the ones that never finished to the left of my other discs. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down there and I'm going to throw them back. So I was able to definitely eliminate these ones from making the bag right away because I have this kind of tail right to left cross, and they never even tried to come out of, you know, the angle that I was throwing them on. So now these will be eliminated. Whoop, there it goes. So now these will be eliminated from the discussion of making a backup. Now, another thing to look for when you're doing field work with new discs is how they perform with all of the shots you're throwing it on. That doesn't mean that the ones that I'm eliminating are never gonna make the bag. That just means that that's not what I'm looking for the stability that I wanna back up those other main ones. One thing that I did also find with that last session was this thing outperformed all of them. It had stability and it actually carried about 50 feet farther than my other discs. So this one I'm gonna keep my eye on. Sometimes you can find that special disc that just has a little something extra. Now I have a left to right crosswind going back that other direction. So the shot I'm going to do is I'm gonna throw a flat shot and see what kind of stability these hold with that crosswind. I don't ever wanna see something drift up and push to the right. I want them all going straight and holding a nice stability. All right, it looks like we had about a handful to a little over a handful of discs that just were really stable and they held up good under this kind of wind condition, which is what I really liked about those. Some of them definitely flipped up and went straight. Those will be eliminated, and I'm getting really close to finding that backup that I'm looking for. I ranged about 420 again, just to make sure that I'm keeping consistent with my flights and my distances. That way the speed is consistent with how fast I'm throwing these discs, so I can really find out which ones are flying consistently and which ones aren't. As we walk out here, you'll be able to see the consistent ones and then the outliers, the ones that kind of flipped up straight. So here are the consistent flyers. Over here, there's about 4 or 5 discs that flipped up and went straight. So pretty easy to eliminate those from making my backup that I'm looking for. And then again, this particular one, even though it flipped up, it actually went farther than the other ones that flipped up, and it went a good significant distance farther. It went about 30 to 40 foot farther. With that being said, I'm going to be able to take this fieldwork sesh. I'll find a backup, but I'm also going to find one that kind of like separated itself from the pack. You always want to find that disc that goes a little farther than everything else without you even trying. So that's what I've done today. I found some backups, I found this one, and now the next step is I have to go to the course, play with these discs, and make sure that they're adequate backups in tournament situations. So I hope you guys like this episode of Down the Fairway. Remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment in the section below, and as always, I'll see you down the fairway.